I want to tell you something that took me years to figure out. And if you've ever said, I want to put myself out there, I want to build something, I want to be seen, but then you don't do it, this video is for you. Because I used to think the fear of visibility was about being camera shy, or about not knowing what to say, or about worrying what other people would think. And if that's what you think too, I want you to stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'm going to completely flip the script on what's happening when you feel that fear. And more importantly, I'm going to show you what to do about it. The fear of visibility isn't fear of being seen. It's fear of being seen as who you are right now. Think about it. You have no problem walking into a room full of people at work, right? You don't freeze when your boss asks you for your opinion in a meeting. You don't shut down when your friends ask you what you think. So it's not that you don't know how to be visible. It's that something about this kind of visibility, building something, putting an offer into the world, saying, I know something worth paying for, something in that triggers a different kind of fear. And I want you to understand why that is. Because the visibility that comes from building a business isn't about being seen. It's about being evaluated. When you post a YouTube video or launch an offer or show up as a coach or consultant, you're not just showing your face. You're making a claim. You're saying,
I know something. I can help someone, and my skills are worth paying for.
And underneath that claim lives a question you're terrified someone might answer for you. And that question is, what if they look at me and decide I'm not enough? That's what the fear of visibility is protecting you from. It's not protecting you from cameras, comments, or criticism. The fear of visibility is protecting you from the verdict. Now I want to take this a bit deeper, because this is the part that's misunderstood. The fear of visibility doesn't live in your personality. It lives in your identity. And your identity has been shaped very specifically by years of operating inside of a system that rewarded you for performance inside that system. I'm talking about your degree, your title, your performance review, and your salary. All of those things were given to you by someone else, and they came with a built-in validation system. You did the thing, you got the credential, and then you were deemed valuable. See, someone else held the ruler and you measured up. But when you step outside of that system, nobody hands you a credential that says you're qualified to be visible. Nobody approves your offer before you launch it. Nobody tells you you're good enough to start. You have to make those decisions. And for women who have spent years operating inside institutions that defined their worth for them, that moment of self-authorization is terrifying. So when you feel the fear of visibility, it's not a weakness. And it's not imposter syndrome in the way people usually describe it either. The fear of visibility is a very rational response to stepping outside of a structure that used to tell you where you stand. The problem is that the structure lied to you. It told you that validation comes from external sources. It told you that your value is determined by whoever's above you in the hierarchy. And the structure didn't prepare you for the moment you'd have to look at yourself and say,
I don't need permission for this.
Here's the thing. Staying invisible has a cost, and we don't talk about that cost enough. We talk about the risk of being seen. We obsess over what could go wrong if we put ourselves out there, but we don't calculate what's already going wrong by staying quiet. It's the income you're not generating, the clients you're not serving, the part of you that's sitting on skills and knowledge and decades of experience and giving it away for free every single day. Are you understanding what I'm saying here? Your employer is getting the most valuable asset you have, your skills, and they're getting them for a fixed price. And that price was set by them. There's a part of your life where your skills generate income on your terms, but that part can't exist while you're waiting to feel ready to be visible. Here's what I want you to consider. The fear of getting visible doesn't just cost you now, it compounds. Every month you wait, someone else is stepping into the space you were called to be in. And this isn't because someone else is more qualified than you. They're stepping into your space because they decided the discomfort of being seen was worth it. See, once you understand what you're afraid of, which is the verdict, not the camera, you can start making a different decision too. Now let me take a step back, because this is exactly where most women get stuck. You intellectually understand that your skills have value. You know somewhere that you're qualified for this, but you don't know how to translate all that into income. And the gap between understanding something and executing it is where most women stay stuck. So I created a free training that walks you through exactly how to identify what you can sell, what most women get wrong when they try to start, and why structure matters so much more than a big audience or a long list of credentials. If you want in, drop the word income down in the comments and I'll make sure you get all the details. Most people think of visibility as exposure. You put yourself yourself out there and you become vulnerable to judgment, criticism, and to being wrong in public. But I want you to consider that visibility is not exposure. I want you to think of visibility as access. When you show up and share what you know, you're giving someone access to a solution they have been searching for. The woman who is sitting at her desk right now, knowing she needs a second stream of income, the one who knows her job doesn't feel safe, the one knowing she has something to offer the world but has no idea where to start, that woman needs to find you. And she can't find you if you're hiding. Here's the thing. Your visibility is not about you, it's about her. When you look at visibility as something you're doing for yourself, like you're doing it to be seen, to be known, or to build a brand, visibility will always feel terrifying and self-indulgent. But when you understand that your visibility is a bridge between your skills and someone else's problem, now visibility becomes an obligation, not a performance or a risk. Visibility is an obligation to the people whose lives will be different because you chose to show up. Now I want to talk about something practical, because seeing visibility in a different way doesn't automatically make it feel easy. And I don't believe in just do it scared as a complete strategy. What makes visibility sustainable isn't courage, it's clarity. When you know exactly what you're saying, who you're saying it to, and what you're asking them to do next, you're not performing, you're communicating. And communication feels different in your body than performance does. Performance is,
what will they think of me?
Communication is, do they understand what I'm offering them? The women who show up consistently online are not braver than you. They have clarity. They know what they do, who they serve, and what changes for someone who works with them. And that clarity gives them a reason to show up that is bigger than fear. You don't need more confidence, you need more clarity. And confidence is a byproduct of clarity. It's not the prerequisite for it. The fear of visibility and fear of starting a business are the same fear. They both come from the same question I surfaced earlier in this video. And that is, what if they look at me and decide I'm not enough? And the answer to both of those questions is the same. Structure your offer so well that that question becomes irrelevant. When your offer is clear, specific, and speaks directly to a problem your client is already losing sleep over, the focus shifts from you to the outcome, because that's the point. Because at that point, no one's evaluating your credentials. They're calculating whether or not the result is worth their investment. This is why I built 2K in 2 hours, because the hardest part of getting visible is not having anything concrete to be visible about. When you have an offer, a real structured priced offer, visibility then has a purpose. And at that point, you're not just building a brand, you're inviting someone into a solution. And 2K in 2 hours walks you through exactly how to create that solution. You'll learn what to put in it, how to price it, and how to make your first $2,000 with it. You can get 2K in 2 hours on my website at herincomeedit.com/2K, or just click the link down in the description. If you've been waiting to feel ready to be visible, this is what ready looks like. Here's the thing. Fear of visibility was never about cameras. It was never about comments. It was never about confidence. The fear of visibility was always about the gap between where you are and where you believe you're allowed to be. And the only way to close that gap is to stop waiting for someone to give you permission to stand in the space your skills already qualified you to be in. You don't have a visibility problem. You have a clarity problem. And clarity is something you can fix this week. If you're new here, my name is Nick Scott, and I help women turn their existing skills into coaching income, digital products, and online businesses. If you want to keep going, watch this video next. It pairs perfectly with everything we just talked about, and it'll show you exactly what to do next. Okay? I'll see you there.